My mom wrote this piece for me, and I'm going to read it to you. This is a very difficult short story to share because our family life was not always as easy and perfect, even though it may have appeared that way most of the time. I fell in love with Greg for his great ability to talk things through. We shared everything about our day. He used to call me on the way to work to check in on Kayla. How did she sleep? Was she in a good mood? What's going on? Quite often, I didn't know the answer, and I would guess. I always wanted to have a great relationship with my only child. In fact, I didn't. As a young child, Kayla kept her feelings to herself. Most conversations we had were Q&A. I'd ask, she'd answer. Greg had the same kind of conversations. We'd compare notes to figure out what was happening at school with her friends and social activities. Greg knew I struggled with this fact, especially with my career and traveling so much. We noticed a change in Kayla around the age of 14. The onset of social media, MySpace, and chat rooms were a new distraction, although we restricted her online time on the family computer. Over time, we witnessed Kayla retreating to her room, quitting her sports, sleeping a lot, becoming angry, impatient, and blaming everyone and everything but herself. By now, our conversations with Kayla were reduced to yes and no responses. I blamed myself for Kayla's withdrawal from our family and for putting Greg in this difficult position of helping to raise my daughter while I was traveling for my work. We both decide that we need professional help, and we find Sarah, a therapist specialist for teenagers. Kayla goes unwillingly most days, and we struggle for 2 years with our family relationship. We join Kayla for a few sessions as a family, then with just mom and Kayla, and then with just Greg and Kayla. I continue to maintain my optimism that this is going to fix her and to overcome her depression. Greg becomes short tempered, maintains high expectations, and shuts down not only with Kayla, but with me as well. I always overcompensated to make the family relationship work. We got her a puppy, we threw her a huge Sweet 16 party, we paid for very expensive tennis lessons with the promise of good grades, we bought her the latest electronics, and on, whatever she wanted. Our bargaining conditions were rarely met, nor did the mood swings of euphoric to rage. I know that Greg did not approve of most of my choices for her, but at the time, I wanted to keep her happy. We stopped therapy just after Kayla turned 16 because she realized she was in control of our family relationship. By now, her relationship with Richie is nearly severed. Over the last 13 years, the time they shared was out of obligation and not about relationship building. Kayla would share her frustrations, but at the time use him as a means to an end, such as rides to social activities or to work, etc. Deep down, I always knew Kayla truly loves Greg and wants to please him, but she does not know how. I also knew that despite Kayla's struggles with our relationship, Greg loves Kayla very much. One evening in the early January of 2008, while we were eating a family dinner, we were listening to her venting about Richie and how she's struggling, how to tell him that she does not want to spend any more time with him. I know I probably should not have done this because it went against the rules of trying to solve Kayla's problems for her, but I blurted it out. I remember asking her, "Wait a minute, do you want Greg to adopt you?" It was a no-brainer for her and Greg. It was going to solve all our problems. On Greg's 43rd birthday, it became official. Greg became dad to Kayla. The ceremony was shared with Greg's parents, his sister Jan, and our good friend Lori. Greg took this very seriously. He too thought this would change the relationship now that Richie was no longer in our lives. It was a very meaningful and important milestone to our family. But unfortunately, things changed and not for the better. As a senior in high school, Kayla continued her mood swings, always complaining about this one and that one. Entitlement became a newly acquired virtue for her. We supported all that she did, every game, college touring, every senior event, every award celebration. She came and went as she pleased, she would lie to us, she had zero regard for our requests and wishes. We started to become resentful, truly hurt, confused, and could not figure out what went wrong. It took a last straw event for Dad and Mom to say, enough is enough. Of all the holidays in the year, that year Kayla chose not to spend Father's Day with us. She left on Friday and did not return home until late on Sunday. We struggled with the decision. It was mine to make. As painful as it was, I knew I created this mess over the years and needed to take a hard stand. We asked her to move out and figure out what's important and gave her a 2-week notice. Kayla was devastated. She learned pretty quickly who her true friends were and who was going to help her. She found out she could count them on less than one hand. In the meantime, Greg and I tried to come up with solutions of our own to help her solve her problem. We knew it was for 6 to 7 weeks because she was starting Endicott in late August. Every option was discussed. Should we pay for an apartment, or send her to my mom's, or search the want ads for people looking roommates? We had the perfect plan, thanks to my dear friend Lori, and unbeknownst to Kayla. She had access to a condominium in her complex that was vacant. We worked out the details. Lori approached Kayla with the idea, and she accepted. Those 6 to 7 weeks were the longest ever. We helped her move in, cleaned the place, helped with a leaking water tank, and invited her to dinner, and even helped her move out. We did anything we could to stay a part of her life despite all the hurt. To this day, Kayla did not know that we were providing and protecting her without her knowledge. Fast forward to today. It's been 2 years and Kayla is in her 3rd year of college. For me, the eternal optimist believes in forgiveness, second chances, and getting to know my daughter as a young adult. She makes me so proud, and I tell her that all the time. For her dad, wrestling with the genuine love he has and the hurt, anger, and the wall he's built, he's slowly regaining his relationship and the trust that was lost so long ago. Thank you, Mom, for writing that. And, I love you, Dad, so much. And I'm really sorry how hard it was for us in those years of my life. But I'm in a much better place now, and I only want to move forward. And I know it can only get better from here. So thank you for everything. And, I love you very much.